Hi, my name's Heather Phillips, and I am here today to talk to you about my technology toolbox. So we're going to get started with my Prezi. So again, my name is Heather Phillips. Today, if you see any images, the citations will be found on the image. If you just click on them, it'll zoom in. So you can see those. And my first technology trend that I want to address is deeper learning approaches. Deeper learning requires educators around the world to focus on their teaching strategies such that students lead their own inquiry. And for this, I selected the technology TED Ed lessons worth sharing. And you can find that at ed.ted.com. They have lessons that allow students to pace and guide their own learning. They're interactive. They help ensure engagement. They have quality videos that you can use or you can edit yourself. You can even upload your own. Students' interests are the driving force behind these. They connect to several online tools and the cost is free. At the TED Ed site, you'll find either lessons that you can use or you can create your own lesson. I have a sample lesson here of one that I adapted for myself for my own classroom, and I'll just share it with you briefly. It's pretty neat. It came up, it's math anxiety. I'll just slide this over here. Modified for my classroom. I used their video, but I changed my paragraph at the top, and you can change into what you want the students to think about. That's some questions for them to ask when they get started to kind of get them going. Then there's a dig deeper section. Every little link here, you can plan it yourself or they have some planned for you so that if the kid's interested, they can move on and take a closer look at that. There's also the discuss section where you have a blog going, and then finally some extension. I had added some sample test questions for our practice test at the time that we used this. Go back here to my Prezi. I also have information. There's a link to an article about TED Ed and its programs and the initiatives. They have links to the TED Ed website because there's a ton of resources available, as well as a link to a video on how to make a TED Ed lesson. We're going to go past that. The next next item in my technology toolbox is Nearpod. It's also along the same trend of deeper learning approaches. You can find that at nearpod.com. You create interactive lessons. They're adaptive lessons. You can adapt them or you can create your own. They also are very engaging for the students. There's several different types of activities that the students can be involved with. They have interactive features such as virtual field trips, 3D objects. There are many assessment components like quizzes, polls, open-ended questions. What's really cool is you can share those questions with that students submit without the names and have class discussions. And then it connects several online tools. It's free for just a limited number of Nearpod. So you would have to change it often, or you can upgrade at obviously a cost. So they are synchronized. You control the lessons from your own iPad, computer, iPhone even. So you can walk around the room with the iPhone and you're turning the pages, so it forces the students to turn the page at a specific time or to move on to the next activity. And then you can evaluate the responses live, like I had mentioned, or through post-session results. When you look at your library, if you go into your library, I have 2 in mind because I think you can have 4 free. And one of the ones I created myself was on transformations. And so I'm hoping it'll let me link to this. But I also have one that was adapted. So if we go in here, and unfortunately, I think you have to be logged in or have to give a code. So I have to do a little bit more research into that. But you can see if we preview this, that this is exactly what the students would see on their screen. It's a little bit off. But for example, here they can draw and label the X and Y quadrants. And when they do this, all of their answers can pop up on the board. So from my view, I would see all maybe 20 students and we can discuss like, what do you think's wrong? What do you see similar? What do you see different? So it's a pretty engaging and interactive unit. There's, I think, 27 slides in this, and here's an example of the quiz, so you can pop through the quizzes and so on. Just a lot of different components to it. There's some sections where the students can watch videos on their own. Here's one where they can actually move the point. They'll translate the point themselves, and so on. They can draw right over top of it, and you can use that from an iPad, iPod. It's pretty neat. And then if you get a chance to check this out, you should check out the one on the cyclones as well. That's one that I adapted, but it was used as a demonstration, so it has a lot of different components in it. It's pretty neat to take a look at. I'm going to slide this back over here. So next we are going to look at some I think articles here. It will show us our articles next. I got to scooch through this. Here we go. There's a video, a Nearpod tutorial on how to create one. And then I have 2 links in the Nearpod. One article is just an overview plus information about ratings, and another article discusses on how Nearpod has changed the view of mobile devices. Instead of being a distraction, you can use them as a tool for learning. And there's just so many components to Nearpod. It's a really neat technology tool. MDCs. This one is going to cover the emerging trend, collaborative learning. Student learning is optimized when experiencing a blend of cooperative and individual work. So MDCs really come from the MARS, which is a Mathematics Assessment Resource Service. It's part of the initiative, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for Math Design Collaborative. The tools are relevant to any curriculum. It's collaborative. It has collaborative lessons that help students get a deeper understanding because you're applying these real-life examples. They have an extensive set of exemplar summative assessment tasks, and they also have lessons as well, and it's free. Again, this would be under the collaborative learning trend. And the link is mapmathshell.org. But if you searched Math Design Collaborative or Math Assessment Resource Mars, it should pop up. It's just kind of a funny URL. And with this is where I have my one of the detailed lesson plans that we use we do at least 2 MDCs every 9 weeks. They're a couple days long depending on how far you take the extension, but this would be an example from the link of a lesson plan, and it has the goals, it has Common Core standards on it, gives you the materials you need, the times. What we really enjoy about it is they're lessons that they give suggested questioning and prompts and common issues. A lot of times teachers fail to think about or you just get overwhelmed and you can't think about the common misconceptions. And so, especially for new teachers, it's great. It gives you that tool. This is a picture of my 7th grade students completing their first one of the year. They work in groups. MDCs kind of have a lesson where you work independently, taking a pre-test. You work together as a class to have some interactive lessons with the smartboard. Then the students work in teams of 2 to 4, depending on what the activity is and how much you need done. And they practice this over and over, and then you have another class discussion and a post-assessment. So they're kind of all set up the same for the tasks. And we do this throughout the year, and we do it 7th through 12th grade. But I really enjoy this link. There is an article here that I picked the article to provide more information about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, specifically the MDC movement, which was just created as a way to get low-income and minority students prepared for college. There's a video here that talks about another teacher story with working through MDC, and we're going to skip that for time constraints, but you can go back to that. My next one is SMORE, and that's an emerging trend, students as creators. Student-led lesson planning was a successful tool for promoting creativity and engagement while bolstering student understanding of complex concepts. So SMORE is found at www.smore.com. It's free, but you can pay for upgraded versions where you get more flyers. It's user-friendly, it's web-based. You can create digital flyers, newsletters, announcements, invitations. There's several different ways to publish it and distribute it. It's shared through social media. They have a whole section because it was started as a business opportunity for businesses, but they became so well known with educators. They created an educator hive for collaboration among educators. You can provide students and parents with informative snapshots. I've attached a mini PD that I made for using S'more, so that you can have just a snapshot of how to use it within your classroom. It's about 20 minutes long. I have also attached 2 articles, one that is an overview plus information about the ratings. The other one shares how to make a S'more, or how to make a S'more, and also how to make it more than just a digital tool. For example, using it as a communication tool with the parents, as a class newsletter. The next emerging trend that I'm going to look at, a technology tool, would be under the trend gamification. The gaming industry is producing a steady stream of games that continue to expand in their nature and impact. They can be artistic, social, collaborative, with many allowing massive numbers of people from all over the world to participate simultaneously. So this is buzzmath.com. There are free and upgraded versions. It's user-friendly, web-based, middle school math practice aligned with Common Core standards. There's unlimited access from any device, detailed solutions, on-demand examples, and what I love about it, detailed reporting. I've attached a link that provides detailed information on understanding how your brain is connected to engagement through gaming and ways to use game mechanics to enhance learning. And then there's a tutorial for how to use the BuzzMath website. And then finally, the last trend that I'm looking at is gamification, but also growing focus on measuring learning. According to Freeman, when learning analytics is paired with formative assessments, it will provide multiple insights on student progress and determine gaps in knowledge. So with that, I chose Kahoot. And most people have heard of Kahoot. It's a real-time questioning game type, but it's got a lot of social elements. It makes collaboration easy. It's easy to prepare. There's tons that you can create or you can edit to make them work for you. It's fun for the students. Their claim is that it connects the hand, the heart, and the mind. I love that it encourages engagement through class discussions because you're forced to look at the board. So the students are looking up and they're interactive. They can have private names or they can put their own names, and it does have a data analysis component. It works great with Google Classroom, so you can import that information if you wanted to use it as an exit ticket out of the classroom. So again, I have my own created mini PD for Kahoot. Now, there's a spelling error. It moves very quickly because I can't figure out how to slow it down when I'm converting it from a PowerPoint to a YouTube video to put it in this Prezi. So that's a little concern for me. And then finally, the last article is just to learn how it works, get inspired by ways, and this was created by Kahoot. And my last little link here is just my references. Talks about all my references. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and sorry this ran over. Have a great day.